Well, the Republican National Committee says it's putting the fun back into fundraising. Well, that is, of course, if you think fun is to scare the living daylights out of the American people into thinking that we're all becoming socialists. Politico has obtained an RNC document that encourages the use of fear to score campaign cash this election cycle. And apparently, you do that by referring to Democrats as the evil empire, dredging up the image from the town halls depicting President Obama as the Joker from Batman, and likening House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid as Cruella de Vil and Scooby-Doo. They're deep, aren't they? Congressional Republicans, well, they're not touching this one with a 10-foot pole. House Minority Leader John Boehner making no mention of it during his weekly briefing. But the RNC is talking, seeking to distance Chairman Michael Steele from the controversy.
We took the proactive step before the article came out, really as soon as I found out about these images and this language, that we made sure that people knew that it was unacceptable.
Well, this afternoon, Democrats are firing back with a mashup of media coverage and Chairman Steele speaking. At the end, it asked whether fear is all the GOP has left for America. And here's Speaker Pelosi, Speaker de Vil, if you work for the RNC.
What has happened in the last year and the past year in the United States Senate is a total obstruction by the Republican senators.
Joining us now is Brad Woodhouse, Communications Director for the Democratic National Committee. Mr. Wood, good to have you on tonight, Mr. Woodhouse. What is the pushback on this? What do you think?
Well, look, this is so unfortunate. I mean, this is exactly, Ed, the type of tone that President Obama has said that he wants to wring out of Washington. But this is not an isolated incident. I mean, I know that the RNC Communications Director and Michael Steele would like for you to believe that this was some staffer gone wild. But the truth is, we've seen this stuff for an entire year, and it's been encouraged by Republican leaders. They've attended rallies with these images. And the truth is, what will tell you that this was intentional and that they knew about it or should have known about it is that the RNC chairman and the RNC Communications Director don't have the same story.
All right, Mr. Woodhouse, this is Doug High this morning saying you guys are down in the mud too. Here he is.
I sure wish Democrats would say the same thing when Dick Cheney's cast as Darth Vader, a real villain in my youth. Eric Cantor's cast as Dr. No, the old James Bond villain. If these things are out of line, and we think they ought to be out of line for everybody.
Mr. Woodhouse, what is so different about what the RNC is doing as opposed to what Democrats did when the Republicans had the majority?
Well, look, Ed, I don't know what Democrats he's talking about, but I would challenge Doug, I'd challenge Chairman Steele, if he'd like, to come over here and find a DNC document that does what they did in that RNC document. I mean, it was horrible, and there's nothing here in this building that is anything like what the RNC did. So he wants to point fingers, and I understand that they got caught, and now they want to point fingers. But the truth is, this is the problem with Republicans. In 72 pages, Ed, not one mention of ideas, none. All about fear, and they have fear but not ideas.
All right, last year the Republicans, they raised $81 million in 2009. Do you think that's a solid number, high or low? What do you think?
Well, look, I think if you look historically, it was pretty low. I mean, they had raised somewhere around $110 million in the comparable year of 2005. So I guess desperate times call for desperate measures.
Now, in this RNC presentation where it was $2,500 to get in the door, there are motivations for small dollar givers that they've got to tap into the same way the Obama administration did, is that they want to hit the fear, extreme negative feelings toward existing administration, and also very reactionary. What does that mean? How far do you think they'll go?
Well, look, I mean, Ed, we saw this late in the 2008 campaign at the McCain-Palin rally. So they may think this is a good fundraising fodder, but it didn't do them any good in 2008. Independents and moderates ran from this. That's why they're so scared that this became public, and they're trying to distance themselves from it. But they can't distance themselves from the tactics that they've used, like healthcare, Ed. I mean, death panels, killing grandma, rationing. It's all been fear, and it seems to be all they have going for them.
Brad Woodhouse, good to have you on the show this afternoon. Thanks so much.
Ed. Appreciate it.
You bet. Now let's bring in Jonathan Capehart, editorial writer for the Washington Post. Jonathan, you blogged about this today.
Yeah.
What jumps out at you in this story?